hello, everybody, and welcome back to Trackside Talks. We are your hosts, Sam and Zachary. This is the Italy edition. Zachary is currently in Italy, so we're on FaceTime, a couple hours apart, but still bringing you guys the episode anyway. Sorry we've been out for a couple weeks. I've been in Australia, and we've just been kind of busy this summer, but hopefully we can start bringing you back regular episodes. So, a little recap of the past couple races. We've had 2 Ferrari winners, 2 Mercedes winners. The World Championship is finally starting to look more, I don't know, kind of ironed out, and we're starting to see certain people pull away. Kimi Antonelli is currently the forerunner and the winner of this race in Spa. Also leading the race against Charles in Silverstone before all that happened, and Charles eventually took the win. Lewis looking like a whole different man from last season, especially even compared to Charles. I was super surprised by that. Obviously, Charles is a lot younger, and just the past couple of years, we've seen Charles be really dominant, but I'm glad to see Lewis is back. And then our 2 guys, obviously, Esteban and Carlos, just absolutely atrocious this season. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you said. Spa was a fun race to watch again. And, can another Antonelli win? The thing that stood out to me the most is obviously George and Lewis's crash in lap 1. And I don't understand 2 things about that. Number one, how Lewis got a 5-second time penalty for that. That just seemed like a normal racing incident to me. And number 2, actually, no, I understand this more, but it almost surprised me that contact sent George out of the race completely instead of just maybe a pit stop to fix the car up a little bit, because they went to safety car after that anyway. And yeah, I mean, George Russell, I think that it doesn't put the final nail in the coffin, but it makes it like such a long shot now for him to win the Drivers' Championship, considering Kimi is already ahead by 50 points. I mean, it's definitely possible. Crazier things have happened. Max was so far behind last year, only ended up losing the championship by 2. But it was just, I think this is really bad for George Russell. And but it is exciting to see more. I mean, much more competition at the front than we've seen in a while. Besides last year, obviously, with Mercedes and Ferrari, and McLaren's still in there fighting every race. They just don't quite have the pace to keep up with those 2.
Yeah, certainly. No, I completely agree about McLaren. It was kind of a shock to me going into the season. I mean, with the dominance that car had last season, to not see them, I just felt like they weren't. I do agree that they're still in the top couple places, but they're not. It doesn't really feel like they're fighting with Mercedes or Ferrari, which was just a big shift from last season. But yeah, I completely agree with you about the Kimi Antonelli sort of pulling away. I do feel like it's becoming a longer and longer shot for George Russell. So I think unless something big happens, I see Kimi Antonelli winning it at this point. And I think the real fight is honestly second between Lewis and George. I think that's actually a really good fight. Both of those guys looking extremely strong, just trading paces back and forth and back and forth. And back to what you were saying about the crash between George and Lewis and the time penalty, it's very similar to what we saw last year in Mexico at the beginning. I think it was Lewis and Max, where there was sort of what felt like maybe a racing accident thing, but then Lewis got a time penalty, and yeah, certainly something to look into. I mean, the FIA obviously makes mistakes sometime, but I think that was just a hard one. I think it really cost. Obviously, it cost George everything, but I think Lewis might have been slightly over penalized for something that it would have been difficult to control. But still, completely agree. Great race and good job to Kimi for that. And how do you feel about sort of like the midfield shaping up? Obviously, the worst teams are starting to pan out at the bottom, being pretty bad. The best teams are kind of pulling away, but the midfield is still kind of up in the air.
I actually really do like this midfield battle this year between Alpine and Racing Bulls. Obviously, they're tied at 61 points right now. And then I mean, after that, it's a huge drop off to Haas at 21, Williams at 11, Audi at 10. I mean, an Aston Martin Cadillac literally look like they're driving a different race. Like, their drivers sometimes don't even feel like there's a point to finishing races, and they can barely get in qualifying laps. I mean, it sucks to see that for Alonso and Perez and Bottas, who are all, like, veterans and, I mean, obviously good at the sport and just not doing what they can because of the team. But I'm super excited to see if Alpine can continue this production in racing balls. Yeah, I mean, them Lindblad and Lawson have both just been scoring points consistently every time. Not like super high positions usually, but it is impressive their consistency, and Kyle Pinto has really stepped it up this year. Obviously, they have a better car with Gasly at 42 points, but that's all good to see. The midfield battle is sometimes the most fun battle to watch because they're usually such tight margins. And one more thing about George Russell, this isn't a midfield battle, but I think he's almost proving that. I mean, he's losing his chance at being number one driver because he was the number one driver for 1 year at Mercedes last year over Kimi. Obviously, just like Kimi's first year in F1, still learning. But I mean, this year now Kimi is far outperforming him, and George has always talked about wanting his opportunity to be a number one driver, and I think he kind of lost that last year because now he's getting outperformed this year, which does suck for him. But it's a hard sport.
Yeah, certainly, and I think it'll be interesting to see how the next couple years play out. A lot of drivers like Max and Fernando and several other people, Lewis, sometimes feel like they're maybe somewhere close to retirement. And Daniel obviously retired last year. I'm interested to see how that will shape up over the next couple years and how people will switch around to different teams. But that's what's so exciting about F1 is just a couple years apart, you can have teams just looking entirely different, which is exciting. But back to the midfield, one thing I just love about the midfield is you're so right. It's all about consistency. Like those teams last year, Williams was incredibly consistent. You don't need you don't need to be getting high places to be up in the midfield. All you need to be doing is getting in the points, even if it's the low points in every race, one of your two drivers.
Yes.
But on the other hand, one thing I also love about the midfield is that means because the total amount of points is lower, that a standout performance can really propel you. Like I remember
Yes.
last year when Carlos got on the podium in Baku, it really propelled him and Williams to the top of that. So it feels like each race could be the difference
Yeah.
for the midfield, which is very exciting. While the upper field is kind of spreading out, and obviously you said I completely agree. Cadillac and oh my gosh, and Aston Martin are seriously driving their own race. I mean, they need to make some big changes either hopefully soon or at least by next season. But right now it's
Yeah.
not looking good at all.
Another example of a race that can completely shift the midfield. Alpine, I think, was 9th out of 10 in 2024 before the Brazilian Grand Prix, and they had two drivers on the podium, and it just absolutely boosted them up to 6th place, which was great to see, especially with Esteban. And on the topic of him, he's obviously just having a bad season. Like there's no way to put it, but and he's obviously in a bad car, not one of the most talented drivers. I mean, I like him for who he is, but his driving has just been very disappointing this year, getting outperformed by um, Behrman by 15 points. But I think that obviously shows that Esteban's having a bad year, but also I think Ali has potential to be a number one driver for a Ferrari maybe in the future because. I mean, Haas just has a terrible car this year. He's not producing every race, but he can. I don't think I've seen him get on Q1 almost at all, which is impressive considering how bad their car's been. And I think he'll be an exciting racer to watch for a long time, and hopefully him and Kimi can have some good rivalries in the future.
Yeah, certainly. I completely agree. Ollie is looking extremely promising and just he really has that drive in him. I see him doing really well. Also about a couple races in the Middle East that were canceled due to like the conflicts going on over there. Have you heard anything about whether those are going to happen or like be rescheduled or not happen at all?
Um, I didn't think they were going to happen at all, but I actually haven't put much thought into it, so maybe they could. I haven't
Yeah,
seen anything about that.
I'll definitely check that out. I hope no more races get canceled for anything like hurricane, gale force winds, really
Yeah.
tornado or anything.
And don't jinx it, man.
Right, no.
I think
Hopefully we
I
can just
think
finish out the
almost,
season.
but the thing about like obviously no, we don't want any races to get canceled, but the thing about like this season is it's almost better for Cadillac and Aston Martin if it just gets canceled and they get to go right in the next one because it's almost fictitious for them to even be scoring points at this point. Like you can't even imagine it.
Yeah, no, it's truly, it's truly, sorry, it's truly, unbelievable. I feel like one thing I've actually got to commend F1 for is the past couple years, it's felt like, obviously there will always be better teams and worse teams, but it felt like even the worst teams have been scoring like some points and like every once in a while they have a good race and obviously they have bad races. But this year, I mean, those two teams, every race, every qualifying you look, and those four are just at the dead bottom.
And you could even argue that Fernando Alonso's 1 point this year is more impressive than both of the drivers' championships.
That's actually not a bad take.
Also, I think it's about time for Hulkenberg to retire because he's getting 10-0'd by Gabby, and Gabby's all of their points this year. So I mean, it's just time for him to go.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he had the one good race in Silverstone last year, but I can get behind that. All right, let's go ahead and get predictions for the next race, which is, what's the next race?
Hungary is happening this weekend.
Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and drop some predictions for that. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, so top 10?
Yeah.
Okay, starting in 10th, I'm going to have Pierre Gasly. 9th, Isaac Hadjar. 8th, Piastri. 7th, Max. 6th, Charles. 5th, I'm going to go with Lawson. 4th, George. 3rd, Lewis. 2nd, I'm going to go with Kimi. Sorry. Let me move up the top 4 to being 1st through 4th. And I'm going to go with Ocon 5th place. Because he did win the Hungarian Grand Prix in 2021. So a little throwback. Ocon 5th place. Why are you laughing? It's not a joke.
Wow, that is a crazy take. Drop in the comments if you agree with Zachary on the Esteban Ocon 5th place. That is a shocking take. I'm actually going to start at 1 just because I find that easier. Honestly, I feel like this is Lewis's race. It feels like a track that he could be really good at, and he's been showing dominance. So I'm going Lewis in 1. I like Kimi in 2. And then for 3, I'm probably gonna go with Max. 4, I like Charles. 5, I'm feeling honestly George. 6, I like Lando. 7th, I like Oscar. 8th, I'll go Pierre Gasly. 9th, I'll go Sainz. And 10th, I'll go with Gabby. How are we feeling about that list?
That's a solid list. Like, not as risky as mine, but
certainly not as
I'm
risky.
actually really excited for Hungary. It's not always one of the most exciting races because it is a hard overtaking track. But I mean, not the crashes are good, but I mean there are some exciting really close battles like wing to wing contact. So I'm really excited to watch it, and hopefully Esteban can pull another good result. So thank you guys for watching. And there was one hidden word in here for both of us.
Oh yeah. Also, drop in the comments what you thought our hidden words were, and we'll tell you if you're right, and also whose list you agree with more. And also, I will just give a quick shout out real quick. If you go back to one of last year's episodes, you can see that Zachary's hot take is that this season Kimi Antonelli would win the world championship. So I just want to give him some credit there. That was a good take. Obviously, still not over yet, but on a good track. Much better than whatever my hot take was. Anywho.
Thanks for remembering. That's hot take ball knowledge right there.
Oh, yeah. Any of you guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully we can bring you back some more episodes more regularly now that I'm back home and school starting up again. But, yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.